Oh, wait a minute now. So this is crazy. You telling me that the second supreme leader was killed? Like they got the first one. Another guy stepped up. Was it his son or somebody? I can't remember. They got him too? That's wild. Did y'all, allegedly, by the way, on Twitter, have you seen that people are saying that they got Netanyahu, and that they're doing AI and everything? This is wild. This is wild. Let me check this out.
And let's get straight into Operation Epic Fury. Israel says they expect the fighting to last at least 3 more weeks as Iran ramps up retaliatory strikes on its neighbors in the region.
Let's go to Chief Foreign Correspondent Trey Yingst. He's live from Tel Aviv with the latest. Good morning, Trey.
Yeah, hey, Lawrence, good morning. The Israelis and the Americans are going after new targets today across Iran, striking the capital city of Tehran and a variety of positions in western Iran. They're putting new pressure on the regime, and we heard from U.S. Central Command this morning who indicated that more than 100 Iranian Navy vessels have been taken out since Operation Epic Fury began just over 2 weeks ago. Into the 3rd week of this operation, you can see some video here from the Iranian capital.
They really ain't slowing down either, man.
From the horizon after a significant strike there. Again, not only the storage facilities of Iranian missiles are being targeted, but also the production lines to prevent the Iranian regime from rearming. As these strikes continue, they are expected to intensify in the hours and days ahead. International focus does remain on the Strait of Hormuz, where the Trump administration has indicated they're calling on other countries around the world to participate in pressuring the Iranians and allowing the safe passage of vessels. This is where 20% of the world's oil passes through on a regular basis. President Trump was asked this weekend about that possible coalition.
20%.
Talking to countries about
It's a lot of oil.
releasing the straits because they want the ones, we don't get oil, very little, 1%, 2%. But China, as an example, gets about 90% of its oil from the Hormuz Strait. Nice to have other countries police that with us. And we'll help, we'll work with militarily.
As the United States and Israel put this pressure on Iran, there are still ongoing attacks against Israel and Gulf countries. There are far fewer due to the fact they've been quite successful in hitting the launching positions of these ballistic missiles. There was a number of impacts in Israel on Sunday. You can see in this aftermath video here the result of a cluster munition that wasn't launched toward a military target, but rather the civilians of Tel Aviv. The Iranians still talking tough, and we heard this weekend from Iran's foreign minister who said this.
I think our armed forces
So they're still talking tough.
that they would retaliate if our oil and energy infrastructure are attacked. And they will attack any energy infrastructure in the region which belongs to an American company or an American company is a shareholder. So the reaction would be clear.
The reality is the Iranians are already targeting civilian infrastructure all around the Gulf. But as this is taking place, the Israelis are looking to the east, but also to the north, to the Iran-backed Lebanese militant group Hezbollah. You can see some strikes here that took place in the aftermath in the Dakhia neighborhood of southern Beirut. We also learned overnight Israel has formally now launched a ground operation into southern Lebanon.
The
to
devastation.
fight against Hezbollah. This is described to Fox News as a limited operation at this
Looking
point.
like RE9 over there.
Hundreds of thousands
If
of
you know,
Israeli
you know.
reservists could be called up in the event of an expanded maneuver. Guys?
So far, Hamas is staying out of it, even saying some things that that they're distancing from.
I'm not hearing nothing about this supreme leader.
Right?
Yeah, there are a number of regional proxies in the area that actually haven't yet gotten involved in this war. And that's not to mention the Houthis in Yemen that still have drones and ballistic missiles that they could fire at Israel or Gulf countries if they decided to get more directly involved. At this point, though, it has been contained, at least from the perspective of the Israelis, to a two-front conflict. Guys?
All right. Thank you, Trey. All right, now let's go to Steve Harrigan, who's live at the Iran-Armenian border as speculation grows now about Iran's new supreme leader. Steve, we're all interested in this. Is the new guy, is he alive?
That's really the key question. Is this 56-year-old Muqtada al-Sadr alive, Mukhtar el-Khamenei alive or not? Certainly, President Trump has raised the issue. He stated earlier today, speaking to NBC News, he said, I don't know if he's even alive. So far, nobody's been able to see him. There's speculation that he's been wounded as well, so it's not clear whether the 56-year-old is alive or not. But some interesting questions, too, have been raised about Mojtaba Khamenei's capability to actually be a leader of Iran. CBS News, in speaking about an intelligence report, a U.S. intelligence report, said that the supreme leader who was killed on the first day of the war actually did not want his son to follow his footsteps as supreme leader. That report reads, the elder Khamenei was wary of his son ever taking power because he was perceived as not very bright and was viewed as unqualified to be leader, according to sources.
Wow.
So, 56-year-old, the new supreme leader, hasn't been seen in public. Now reports from intelligence saying he's not very smart, he's had personal problems. But the key thing is, in 2 weeks of war, he has not been seen. All his statements have been read out. So a real mystery surrounding the 56-year-old who's supposed to be in charge. Guys, back to you.
Yeah, Steve, I also heard reports that they think he's gay. And what would that be like, to be a gay guy in Iran and be a leader?
Whoa.
There are
Didn't hear that.
He had some trouble procreating and had to get some help with that a couple of times. So some major question marks about the...
Yo, there's Trey going in on this dude.
Right. But they voted. That group voted to put him in the ballot.
Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, the
Council of Experts. And then they blew up the Council of Experts.
Wow. If he is alive and all that's false, he gonna take that as major disrespect. Oh my God. Wow. Well, I guess we'll eventually find out. This is wild. I hope they stop the fighting, though. I really do. I really do. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you all think. If you enjoyed my thoughts on this, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you in the next video.